ESPN published an article about how the Arizona Cardinals head coach Bruce Arians feels after his players were clearly the target of intentional malicious hits, with the opposing team intending to hurt his players. Arians described a hit made on the knee of Calais Campbell as the dirtiest play I've ever seen. Please direct your attention to the video at center field to further your knowledge of cut blocks and why they are so controversial.
A chop block occurs when an offensive player blocks a defensive player in the thigh or below, while that same defensive player is engaged by a second offensive player above the waist. Chop blocks are illegal on passing plays, kicking plays, and beginning in 2016, all running plays.
Campbell suffered from an MCL tear after a chop block, a form of block that has been held under microscope for quite some time. One side argues that they are cheap and unsafe, while the other side argues it is just part of the game. Certain drills and plays, such as chop blocks, have been banned from the NFL because of its vicious and dangerous nature. Cut blocks, however, are still legal, and it is hard to distinguish between the two. A cut block is when an offensive player cuts a defensive player that is already engaged with another player. This form of a cut block is referred to as a chop block and is illegal. It is legal, however, when the cut block is made as long as the block is away from the original position of the football. Coach Arians stated that he's been coaching for 37 years and it's the dirtiest play I've ever seen in the National Football League. It was a flat chop block that put him out of the game. I've never seen anything like it. I know the Broncos coach John Fox, and he's a great coach and a great guy. Somebody has got to answer to that. A fine isn't going to do it when Campbell is going to miss 3 to 4 weeks on a blatant chop block. Arians was clearly outraged by this blatant illegal play that injured his player for at least a month and does not feel that a fine would be suitable for the player in question, believing that it is not harsh enough for what he did to the Cardinals, Calais Campbell in specific. In contact sports, at such a high level, with such high stakes, it is inevitable that someone will take a cheap or dirty shot at another player at least once within an entire season. It is up to the NFL to impose serious punishments for the players' infractions rather than a fine, creating virtually no dent in these NFL superstars' annual salary. Currently in the NFL, the penalty in-game for a chop block is a loss of 15 yards. The fines vary from player to player, basing the fine off the severity and dangerousness of the block. There is no finite number. It is important that something is done by the NFL and done fast to stop players from intentionally harming another one.